There are certain systems we are born into that feel so normal and so woven into everyday life that we rarely stop to question them. Not because we're asleep, but because we're trained not to look too closely. Money is one of those systems. Income tax, as we know it today, was introduced in 1913 as a temporary measure. Temporary is important. It was offered as a solution, a promise that the very wealthy would finally carry their share and that the ordinary working people would remain untouched. And at first, that was true. Only the top 1% paid income tax. But history has a way of turning temporary into permanent, especially when fear and urgency enter the field. War came, structures expanded, and what began as an exception quietly became the rule. By the 1940s, the middle class was folded in. And today, taxes are removed from your paycheck before you ever touch your own money, so seamlessly that it feels inevitable. And that is exactly how conditioning works, not through force, but through repetition. We are taught that this is just the cost of participation, the price of belonging, the definition of being a responsible citizen. Yet, when you step back and look with clear eyes, something becomes very obvious. You are taxed when you earn, you are taxed when you spend, you are taxed when you own, and in many cases, you are taxed when you leave this world. The same energy, your time, your effort, your life force gets extracted again and again. And over time, we normalize the depletion, but systems do not affect everyone equally. Those with real wealth don't resist the system. They understand it. They move within it differently through legal structures, specialized knowledge, and access to guidance that the rest of us just don't have. Vast sums are protected, redirected, or removed from taxation altogether. In 2020, dozens of major corporations reported massive profits and paid $0 in federal income tax. This isn't about blame, and it isn't about villainizing success. It's about seeing clearly, because while most people are taught obedience, compliance, and endurance, a smaller group is taught strategy, flexibility, and preservation. And the truth is, most of us were never educated to be sovereign with money. We were educated just to survive. And here's the deeper truth. This isn't a system you're meant to overthrow through anger. And it's not something you fix by trying to save pennies inside of a structure that was never designed to favor you. The invitation is subtler and more powerful. It's to shift from unconscious participation to conscious choice. You may not control the tax system, but you do control how dependent you are on a single stream of income that is fully exposed, fully taxed, and fully tied to your time. You control what you learn. You control what you build. You control whether your energy only flows outward or whether it begins to circulate back to you. Financial sovereignty isn't about greed. It's about self-respect. It's about honoring your life force enough to ask, is this the only way? Is this truly all I was meant for? When you create additional streams of income, when you develop skills, assets, and offerings that move beyond hourly labor, something shifts internally. You stop negotiating your worth. You stop feeling trapped. You stop outsourcing your sense of safety. And that inner shift is spiritual, because sovereignty is not just financial. It's energetic. It's the moment you realize that awareness itself is freedom. So this is not a call to rebel. It's a call to remember. It's a call to learn, to expand, to gently step out of the trance of this is just how it is. You don't have to fight the system, but you don't have to sacrifice yourself to it either. The path forward begins with curiosity, with education, with the willingness to build something that supports you rather than drains you. And that choice, made quietly and consciously and consistently, is how real change begins.